agents raiding the Los Angeles Unified School District headquarters and the home of Superintendent Alberto Carvalho.
We're announcing today that we have decided to temporarily halt certain amounts of Medicaid funding that are going to the state of Minnesota.
Sources tell CNN the administration is considering requiring financial institutions to collect and verify their customers' citizenship status.
Wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow. Come now, and let us reason together, saith the Lord.
Day one after the State of the Union, the attacks are unfolding on Minnesota and California. The corruption will be revealed step by step, and in the end, their party, the Democrats, will no longer exist. The 17 comms are everywhere today. We're going to show you those. They were all over the State of the Union and more. Brought into huge feedback, positive feedback from State of the Union, too. I'm going to show you some clips from that. And the U.S. citizens, of course, enjoyed that. And we've got so much more to get into today, including those who made fun of the award ceremonies that were done during the State of the Union. You'll be in shock, but we're getting some positive things today. It's going to be really, really cool. So, folks, thank you for following us on Rumble, 500,000 plus followers. That's thanks to you, and thank you for hitting that like button on these videos. That like button actually helps us on the leaderboard. I'm showing you a screenshot from, as of this recording, 17 hours ago when we released the State of the Union video. You guys helped us to go to number 2 on the leaderboard right next to Dan Bongino's show. And that is thanks to you and you hitting the like button and helping us get into the algorithms in that area. Thank you so much. Also, we got sweatshirts, hoodies, accessories, hats, and tees and tanks. I'm going to show you later on some Patriots who sent their pictures in for that particular portion of this video. So first, I want to get to that look you get when you find out that J.D. Vance is in charge of the fraud investigation. Old Ilhan Omar married her brother to come into the country illegally. Somehow illegally got the votes needed to take power in our country, and somehow illegally stole $30 million from us to line up her pockets. And how are you going to stop the fraud? By arresting these characters who are still put out in our face day in and day out, and it's already starting to play out for many to find out what's going to happen.
We're announcing today that we have decided to temporarily halt certain amounts of Medicaid funding that are going to the state of Minnesota in order to ensure that the state of Minnesota takes its obligations seriously to be good stewards of the American people's tax money. Now, what is this going to mean? What this means is that, first of all, the providers on the ground in Minnesota have actually already been paid. The state has paid those providers the money. What we're doing is we are stopping the federal payments that will go to the state government until the state government takes its obligations seriously to stop the fraud that's being perpetrated against the American taxpayer.
How about that? Took long enough. Finally got here, but hey, they should have cut off the funding a long time ago, but that's just my opinion. Let's listen to some more on this from Dr. Oz.
Predicated numbers. There's a fraud scheme in Minnesota where criminals, soon to be criminals, pay moms $1,000 roughly in order to enroll their children as being autistic, falsely, dishonestly claiming their children are autistic. They then bill Medicaid, this has already happened, millions of dollars for services that were never rendered, never delivered by a qualified staff member. These schemes disproportionately involve immigrant communities. They're insulated, they're able to organize efforts, and sometimes they don't understand what's going on. And it ultimately diverts resources away from kids who truly have autism. Because if every kid in the neighborhood has autism, then nobody has autism in terms of how you can manage them. There was one behavioral, and by the way, these kids, they carry that diagnosis of autism the rest of their lives. Their mom made a bad decision, the kid pays the price for the rest of their life.
That's right.
There's one behavioral health organization, Mr. Vice President, in Minnesota. They received $11.5 million in Medicaid payments, but the top biller submitted 450 days where they claimed they were working more than 24 hours a day.
Oh, boy.
Even in the White House, that's tough. It's hard to work more than 24 hours a day. How it didn't get picked up is shocking to us at CMS. There are other red flags in Minnesota, including hundreds of beneficiaries receiving treatment linked to one location, which was impossible physically to be true. We had 8 beneficiaries in one of these substance use disorder centers, 8 who were already dead. But the center was still billing us. Not only did they let the person pass, they kept billing for it. That's the level of average we're talking about. So CMS is done paying and chasing. We don't think jail sentences are the right way out. These criminals flee the country. Many are foreign nationals. Instead, we're launching the largest action against fraud that we've ever taken. The money's not going to ever leave the building again. We're going to start draining the swamp of the crooks that have inhabited it and are defrauding us. There are 3 bold actions. The first, and for many of you maybe the most important, is we're going to, for the first time, take a massive action to defer funds to a state. Let's start with this Medicaid program in Minnesota, which serves pregnant women. Medicaid takes care of our children. 53% of kids are born in the poverty. They're supported through Medicaid. Disadvantaged seniors, individual disabilities. It's imponderable that you would take advantage of these precious programs. Yet they are putting it at risk, all of it, by stealing the money. So it's our duty to preserve Medicaid, and what we're going to do is identify the scammers, which we have done in Minnesota. We've identified that they've hijacked, in particular, a certain part of the Minnesota Medicaid system. Said differently, and I'll just put the numbers out there, it's going to be $259 million of deferred payments for Medicaid to Minnesota, which we're announcing as I speak to Governor Walz and his team. And that's based on an audit of the last 3 months of 2025. Restated, $250 million is not going to be paid this month to Minnesota for its Medicaid claims. Now that's $250 million of money. That's your money. It's your taxpayer money. And these home and community-based services, which again are services that are typically things you would do for your family, but for whatever reason your family is not there to provide them, are very hard to audit. And for that reason, there's been a lot of slippage. The guardrails have not been well maintained. And if you're not serious about the integrity of the program, you'll see these problems happening in your state, which is why Minnesota's not alone, although they're the first to receive this action. These high-growth areas of fraud are difficult to police, and so we require the states to take these issues seriously. This $250 million deferment is hopefully going to get on the radar screen for the state of Minnesota and make sure they are responsive to our requests.
Good.
We did what any honest and patient-focused agency would do. We have notified the state and that we will give them the money, but we're going to hold it and only release it after they propose and act on a comprehensive corrective action plan to solve the problem.
There you
if
go.
Minnesota fails to clean up the systems, the state will rack up $1 billion of deferred payments this year. Governor Walz has 60 days, sir, to respond to our letter. And if providers and beneficiaries are worried about getting their money and services, please call your governor. These are services the governor has already paid for. We are just not reimbursing the state. And to make it clear, there is a rainy day fund in Minnesota, so we are very confident that people will not be hurt in Minnesota. This is not a problem with the people of Minnesota. It's a problem with the leadership of Minnesota and other states who do not take Medicaid preservation seriously.
The day after the State of the Union, President Trump made that announcement. J.D. Vance is in charge. Do you think that J.D. Vance goes, Vice President, thank you, Mr. President, I'll get right to it. And he started right away. Oh, no, they've been working on this for a long time. They just waited for the State of the Union to make the announcement to, hey, we're coming for you. And it's not just Minnesota that's going to be on the docket.
As you look at this, go ahead and explain it to us because we want to understand what the job is. And what do you think the number is?
What are they looking at? Oh, they showed a chart on Fox News for those that are listening instead of watching. Alleged fraud in California, Minnesota, Maine, Massachusetts. $14 billion in healthcare fraud schemes in Massachusetts, $8 billion in California, $19 billion in Minnesota, $45 million in Maine, and improper Medicaid payments. Oh my goodness! Take it away, Vance.
What do
Yeah,
you
Bill,
what do you think the number is?
Well, I don't know what the top line number, Bill, is, and I think that's unfortunate that nobody has ever tried to take a systematic look at how much fraud there is in the federal government. How many illegal aliens are on Medicaid? We know that it's billions and billions of dollars that should go to American citizens.
Yep.
It's going to illegal aliens.
Yep.
How many fraudulent daycare centers have been set up where that money should go to American citizens to help their kids get into childcare? Instead, it's being stolen from them by illegal aliens in our country. How much have government officials actually been complicit in this fraud because some of them have gotten wealthy, or at the least, they've gotten campaign donations from the people who have gotten rich from that fraud? The story of the American economy in so many ways during the Biden administration, Bill, is that the American citizen was ripped off for people who shouldn't be here and by politicians who should have known better. And the Trump administration, the president has asked me to take a full whole government approach to trying to understand that. And what does that mean, Bill? That means, first of all, the Department of Justice is going to be investigating and, where possible, throwing fraudsters in prison.
Good.
But it's also going to mean that Scott Bessent and some of our friends at the Treasury Department, we're going to be looking at income tax records. We're going to be trying to understand how it is that the American people have been defrauded, how it is that people have used resources and programs that should go to American citizens instead have been going to fraudulent uses. There's a whole host of tools that we have that have never been used. And the president, I talked about this a couple of months ago and said, what if we just did everything that we could to stop the fraud that's being committed against the American taxpayer? The president said, great idea, let's do it. And we're going to work on that very aggressively over the next year.
And one of those things they're going to do is they're going to start going to the banks to find the immigration areas that have been missing. I'm going to show you that in a moment. Stick around.
God, that is just a dramatic change in her from here to here.
Keep going.
And this is Rhonda Sutherland just a few years later, after early onset Alzheimer's had taken its toll.
Well, this is only one of millions of harrowing stories. Early onset dementia and Alzheimer's are on the rise. Reports show a 373% increase in diagnosis among 30 to 44-year-olds and a 311% increase in 45 to 50-year-olds in the U.S. in recent years. When doctors attempt to treat these brain diseases, they often focus on medicating the brain itself, addressing symptoms like a Band-Aid rather than solving the root cause. Alzheimer's disease is driven by chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, which damages brain cells and triggers the buildup of toxic proteins. Studies suggest that bioactive compounds in kimchi improve cognitive and memory function by targeting the amyloid beta, the main sign of Alzheimer's disease that forms those sticky plaques in the brain. Kimchi helps protect the brain by reducing oxidative stress, inflammation, and brain cell death, while also alleviating depression and anxiety. Notably, these same protective mechanisms are linked to reduced cancer risk with kimchi's ability to suppress carcinogen activating enzymes. That's why Brightcore created Kimchi One. It delivers all the benefits of real kimchi in convenient capsules. No taste, no smell, and non-GMO, and 100% made in the USA. So you can go in that description box below the video right now, and we know as viewers are getting 25% off Kimchi One with code AUK at brightcore.com/AUK. Or even better deal, call my friends at Brightcore. They'll give you up to 50% off plus free shipping. Call 888-317-9941. The first 100 callers to order will also get a free bottle of vitamin D3.
Sources tell CNN the administration is considering requiring financial institutions to collect and verify their customers' citizenship status, something banks aren't currently required to do. One source says the new policy could come through an executive order. CNN's Matt Egan is following this story for us. So, Matt, what are you learning about how banks are responding to this possibility?
Yeah, well, Omar, this does appear to be part of the Trump administration's aggressive immigration crackdown. Sources tell CNN's Priscilla Alvarez and I that the administration is considering new action that would require banks to check the citizenship status of their customers. Now, this would be something that would actually apply not just on a go-forward basis, but also to existing customers, which is pretty stunning when you think about just how many customers the banks already have. Now, this action could also require banks to check a different category of documents than what they normally look at, including passports. Now, I do want to stress that nothing here has been announced or finalized. It's not clear here whether or not this would come in the form of an executive order or some other action. We reached out to the White House, and a spokesperson said that any reporting on policy that hasn't been officially announced is just speculation. But some Republicans do support this. Republican Senator Tom Cotton, he put out a post on X yesterday where he said, "I strongly support President Trump taking action to prevent illegal migrants from accessing our banking system." And he said he sent a letter to Treasury last fall asking for an investigation into this matter, and that he plans to introduce legislation on this issue shortly. Now, Omar, you asked about how the industry is reacting. Officially, they're not really saying much, right? Representatives from major banks, from bank trade groups, they haven't commented on this. However, sources do tell CNN that the industry is concerned here because they're worried that this kind of action, it could almost compel them to be part of the administration's immigration crackdown. One financial industry source told me that verifying every bank customer's citizenship status would be unworkable. This source said it's a bad idea. We are very alarmed.
They got to find one of those sources that's going to tell you it's dangerous, right? Financial industry source said. Well, guess what? It's not going to matter. We're going to find out what's going on. Yeah, little by little. It's coming together just the way we thought. And if you didn't think that was one direction they'd go with all the fraud, well, imagine the FBI raiding the home of the LA school superintendent.
Breaking today, federal agents raiding the Los Angeles Unified School District headquarters and the home of Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. The FBI confirming that it executed search warrants, but withholding any further detail. The superintendent has recently made headlines for fighting with federal officials over immigration enforcement efforts in his district. Sandra?
Okay, John, thank you.
Okay, John, thank you. Just a quick, little update on the whole Fox News broadcast for the world to see. Huh. And then this guy comes out. He's got something to say. This Alberto guy. Huh. He actually admits a few things.
And I want to confess to you, for those of you who may not know, I would be a hypocrite if I did not fight for those who today are facing conditions that over 40 years I faced as an undocumented migrant to this country.
Now listen closely. He gets raided, and he admits on camera to being illegal in America for 40 years. Huh.
I want to repeat that. I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world, regardless of my position today, if today I did not fight for those who find themselves in the same predicament I faced over 40 years ago when I arrived in this country at the age of 17 as an undocumented immigrant.
Huh?
Education made me and saved me. I became a teacher, a principal, a superintendent leading the nation's largest districts, 4 times selected as National Superintendent of the Year. Do not underestimate the power of the immigrant child who may very well become an adult who does well and good by America. If I come across with a certain degree of contempt and anger, I am, because Monday, actions were taken in this community that have no place in our city, in our state, or across America. I'm still mystified as to how a first, second, third, fourth, or sixth grader would pose any type of risk to the national security of our nation.
So he's going to use his illegal immigrant status to tell everybody, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm an undocumented guy, and I came here illegally, and look what I've become as an illegal alien. I didn't have to do what all the other folks did, wait in line and do the paperwork and make sure, at 17, my parents were doing. And when I turned 18, I did the proper paperwork to make sure I became a citizen. Oh, no, I got all my benefits handed to me as an illegal. I didn't have to be an American. Now look at me. Look at me. Oh, we're going to look at you. $77 million taxpayer dollars are missing. We're looking at you. Student attendance records are falsified. We're looking at you. Additional search in Florida from his prior role as Miami-Dade superintendent. $76.7 million in voter missing approved Prop 28 funds were meant for hiring new arts and music teachers. It's gone. After being an illegal for 40 years, he now supports student participation in protesting ICE. Oh, I can't believe what these guys are doing. How could the ICE show up and get rid of illegals? I mean, look at me. I didn't wait in line. I cheated. I cheated the system. And look at me. I'm awesome now. He's so awesome. How awesome are you? Oh, he and his wife own 6 homes. Any of you guys own 6 homes out there that are listening? I don't know. Most of you probably don't. Some of you might. But you probably didn't do it the way he did it. He's got 2 luxury waterfront condos in Miami. $2.4 million Miami Shores. 900 Biscayne, number 5008's $925,000 one, $560,000 one. Fort Lauderdale, $576,000 one. Tequista Street, $434,000 one. Not bad for a public servant. He made about $375,000 in 2021 in Miami and $440,000 a year in Los Angeles. His wife, Maria, works for AbbVie as a practice consultant for medical aesthetics offices. Who else praised this guy? Oh, Newscomb.
We've seen improved academic achievement in every subject area, at every grade level, in every student group, with greater gains of test scores for Black and Latino kids. That happened, and that's happening in California's public educational system. And it's a point of pride. It's a point of pride that those gains are particularly pronounced in Los Angeles, the nation's 2nd largest school district. And I just want to say this to the teachers, the classified employees, and to the parents of LA Unified School kids. You should be very proud of your progress you're making, particularly proud of your leader, who's here, Superintendent of Public Education, Alberto Cavallo, who's here with us today, who's just been doing a remarkable job. Alberto, I appreciate you coming all the way up from Los Angeles. And just so you know, he's only been here a few years, but under his stewardship, the district is outpacing statewide progress. They're exceeding pre-pandemic levels in every category and reaching, get this, the highest levels recorded since the current state assessments were launched a decade ago.
He didn't tell you he was illegal for 40 years. Didn't tell you $77 million taxpayer dollars are missing, did he? Oh, no, you already knew that, Newscomb. Oh, man, I can't wait to show you guys some more backlash from the State of the Union and what folks were saying. Also, Republican Representative Kat Kamak, after she did what she did well with the clapping, standing in front of everyone, and it was awesome to watch her in front of everyone, letting them know exactly how she feels about all the policies that the President Trump was announcing. First, I wanted to make sure that you guys know we appreciate you buying our merchandise, the gear. Follow me, Fishers of Men, Matthew 4:19. We've got all kinds of gear at shop.amweknow.com, or you just go to amweknow.com and you'll find the link, and you'll see we got a new collection of that won't last long. You got the Jesus Saves, the And We Know in All Things, that in all things God works together those things for good, and that's Romans 8:28 shirt. We've got our logo and all types of gear. We hope you check it out. Here's more great pictures of Patriots wearing our gear. So watch what happens on Fox News after the State of the Union address. When this guy tries to say something, boy, he went the wrong way and he was corrected quickly.
We all agree on that point. I just think that the reality is that an act like the SAVE Act is very likely more aimed at voter suppression and at keeping key demographics that the Republican Party does not want voting to not show out and vote. I think very often minority demographics.
That's not true.
So this is the thing where
That's
the
not
suggestion is it's going to keep the black vote down. I've got two black panelists here. Ajwa?
That's not
Do
true.
you have ID and proof of citizenship?
Yeah, and if I need a copy of my birth certificate, it's just a matter of going online or going up to the department and asking for it and showing my information to get it.
Yep.
I mean, to say that it would negatively affect a minority group because they're somehow not educated enough to get these documents is completely outrageous.
Annie?
Outrageous. And when she was talking, poor kid next to her is just tapping his foot. He wanted to say something so bad. He's like, oh no, mommy, daddy, help me, please. I messed up. Oh no. Anyway, the SAVE Act. Do I need to show you what's going on there? You got to ask yourself one question, says Dr. Menhava. Why would the majority leader not try everything in his power to pass a 95% issue in his party? Simple SAVE Act.
What's your message to the Republicans in your conference who are pushing over and over again that you can do this with the talking filibuster?
Well, there are a couple things about that. One is, once we get on, if we were to go down that path, it's very hard to pivot and get back to open up the government. I frankly think we ought to. We need to make sure that DHS, TSA, Coast Guard, FEMA, all those agencies are funded. And so I'm hopeful there will be a breakthrough on that. That's going to require some, obviously cooperation from the Democrats, who we haven't seen a lot of so far. But we want to get to the SAVE Act. We also, as I mentioned, we've got a housing bill that we can pivot back and forth to if we get a deal to open up the government. That's harder to do once you're in the throes of a talking filibuster. The talking filibuster issue is one on which there is not certainly a unified Republican conference, and there would have to be. If you go down that path, you're talking about the need to table what are going to be numerous amendments and an ability to keep 50 Republicans unified pretty much on every single vote. And there isn't support for doing that at this point. As I've said, and we will get on it, and we will have a vote on the SAVE Act. The context of that, the process in which we consider it is still an open question, but one that we're having conversations about, but clearly not a unified position, at least among Republicans in the Senate.
So you can't unify them? You know what I found interesting, folks, and some of you can get upset with me if you want. I'm just going to throw out what I think, okay? He said, we're looking at a breakthrough. Look at his hands. Pay close attention to his hands right here in this area when he says breakthrough.
So I'm hopeful there will be a breakthrough on that. That's going to require some...
You see that? You see his hands? Does anybody talk like that? Where you put your hands together and you make this sign? I call it the secret sign, the one that they gave Mitch McConnell when he turned around and he froze and he couldn't give a speech anymore. Remember that from 2-3 years ago? He turned around, they gave him that little sign there, and he looked like he was scared. I'm hoping there's going to be a breakthrough. I don't know. Shows the little sign. I looked it up. Some folks believe it's the Freemason sign of the pyramid that they communicate when they use it. We're hoping for a breakthrough pyramid sign of the Grand Master Mason. Angela Merkel. All these other folks doing that. I don't know. Just me. What do you guys think? Just think it's interesting. We're hoping for a breakthrough. Watch his hand.
And so I'm hopeful there will be a breakthrough on that.
There
That's
it is.
going to require some...
Require some. Breakthrough through what? Anyway, let's go back to the State of the Union, shall we? I'm going to show you this real quick, like I promised earlier, from Republican Representative check her out. She did a great job.
So we actually have a little something tonight for our friends on the left, and you'll have to tune in to see what we're planning. I think that that's really what people saw last night, was that clear divide of people who are willing to stand up for America and those that are going to sit on their hands. And so you saw that clear divide in the room. I was the only Republican sitting on the Democrat side because I believe you need to lead by example. We're willing to stand for America, and they just want to sit it out. That is what America needs to think about when they go to vote in these November midterms. America is back, baby. We are so excited. I might go run through the Capitol playing Freebird.
You play Freebird. She's been watching all the folks on X posting the American winning, because just about every single post has Freebird, and that's why we had it in the intro the other day when our hockey team won. And I just love it. Look at that smile. That's pretty amazing. You know, Mr. Poole said 108 minutes. Trump told everything. You just weren't listening, is what he claims. Well, we were listening, but some weren't. And some claimed it was actually 107 minutes long on his speech, which would be 17 if you take the zero. Anyway, last night, Trump delivered the longest State of the Union in American history. Every word calculated, every pause deliberate. The media heard a speech about tariffs and immigration. We heard the battle plan decode what he really said. Stop Insider Trading Act. Trump demanded Congress ban its own members from trading stocks. Why now? Because the Epstein files revealed that 14 members of Congress received insider intelligence through Epstein's network and traded on it, exposed positions in defense, pharma, big pharma, and tech weeks before public announcements. He's not banning insider trading. He's cutting off their escape money. Number two, he attacked the Supreme Court to their faces. 3 justices sat 10 feet away while Trump said their tariff ruling was wrong. He said he found alternative legal justifications. Translation, he knows which justices are compromised. The Orion file lists 3 sitting justices. He looked them in the eye and told them, I don't need your permission. Number 3, he demanded DHS funding. Democrats shut down the Department of Homeland Security on February 14th. Trump called it sabotage. Why would Democrats defund the agency that catches traffickers? Because the trafficking routes are still active, and the people being protected aren't migrants, they're the children. DHS shutdown, trafficking protection, that's what it equals. He told you. Number 4, the Delilah Law, named after a girl killed by an unlicensed driver, but the real target? The shell companies that issue fake commercial licenses, the same companies the Epstein network used to move cargo across state lines, not drugs, not weapons, children. What he didn't say, he didn't mention Epstein, not once. He didn't mention the 318 names, the 90,000 pages, the arrest, because he doesn't have to. The files are doing the work. The resignations are accelerating. I've got some more to show today, by the way. The arrests are happening in silence. Trump's speech wasn't about what's coming. It was a countdown to what's already here. 17 resignations, 3 arrests, 5 countries, 25 days. And he stood there for 108 minutes smiling because he knows what happens next. The longest speech in history, the shortest time left for the deep state. Yeah, and that deep state, they're falling apart. Sources close to the high-ranking Democrats have revealed growing internal panic after their party's response to President Trump's State of the Union address, describing their counter-protests and boycotts events as a disaster. If you're looking at your screen, just how crazy they were. Listen to this.
No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. No pueden encarcelarnos a todas.
Yeah, there they are, making themselves look like fools. Hardly anybody showed up. And then, of course, you had the Pepe Frog showing up to another event.
You did amazing. Yes. You get an A. I don't give grades, though. We just go on vibes, and the vibes were immaculate.
Yep. And you heard the crowd. They were singing along with him, right? There's thousands of them clapping and having fun. Oh, no. You had another guy dressed up in a giraffe outfit and more. Let's go through just a few more of our favorite talking points from President Trump the other night.
The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up.
This, by the way, was reposted by Dan Scavino.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team, come on in. That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. Members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information. They stood up for that. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it. No state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? Huh? My first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Sick people. We have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country. You probably noticed that. We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute. For $1 more, we can have $1,776. The American dream that has been under...
That was posted by Dan Scavino with the comm from the keyboard, 337. 1253 posted, Patriots, rest assured we are in control. Watch, confirm, and disseminate. Country's not divided. This is fake news. Estimated 4 to 6% we consider hopeless and forever brainwashed. Reread the crumbs, slave grip that the Democrats have on the black population. Why is this relevant? Why are jobs and economy growth relevant? This requires a deep cleaning. These people are stupid. You are safe. Have faith. Pretty amazing, huh? Because that population is waking up in droves, folks. And I'm going to show you a clip in a moment where we have an amazing journalist. She goes around and asks questions from many folks, and she's been posting a lot on social media. But she hit this one on the nail with the State of the Union and what she noticed. I'm going to show you that in a moment. New Spring Wellness Center. Your all-natural one-stop shop for optimal brain health and overall wellness. They're out of Osage Beach, Lake of the Ozarks. Folks, I've been there twice now. You can reach out to Chad and Katie Burrow for support. Are you a loved one or a loved one struggling with addiction? At New Spring Wellness Center, they offer a proven outpatient program that addresses addiction recovery like no other. Their brain restoration program is designed to restore your health, eliminate cravings, and help you achieve lasting recovery. Folks, I have witnessed it for myself. The changes in people who had addictions. They have faith-based support, IV therapy. They have prayer and so much more. John N. said he had alcohol and brain fog. He said, I came to New Spring Wellness for alcohol and brain fog, something I've struggled with for over 30 years. I tried AA before, but this treatment was unique, different than anything else, and it offered a better outcome for me. My head feels so much clearer. My faith has deepened. I've made new friendships, and I have no desire for alcohol, completely different than just 2 weeks ago. Around day 5, I started to feel a real change. There's truly no comparison. I feel renewed. The people here are friendly, professional, and knowledgeable. The patient care is excellent. I'd absolutely recommend this to anyone. Amber was addicted to Xanax for 15 years before coming to New Spring Wellness. Tried the inpatient and outpatient programs, counseling, AA. I came to New Spring to ease withdrawal symptoms in a stress-free environment and to begin repairing my neural pathways. A family member who works in recovery told me about it. Almost instantly, my withdrawal symptoms eased, and I finally had time to focus on myself, surrounded by caring individuals. The emotional support and brain restoration formula made a real difference. By days 2 to 4, I had more energy and better focus. Folks, I've talked to people there, prayed with folks that have come through this program. It will change your life. Go in the description box below and click on that link to change your life or others forever.
This is how you know that the Democrats have literally turned into subhuman creatures. Their hatred for President Donald Trump outweighs the respect that you should have as a human being for a woman who entered this country to work harder, to make her life better, to escape the war that was happening in her country, and was failed by Democrat policies that allowed a criminal, somebody mentally unstable, to continuously be let out of prison, and it led to her being violently murdered on a train. Every single one of those Democrats should lose their ability to hold political power. This isn't about right or left. This isn't about Trump or any other politician. This is about humanity. I'm really trying to hold back what I want to say.
And she's helping wake up the masses, doing a phenomenal job. And also, if you're looking at the numbers, just wanted to show you this. CNN actually put out a poll, and they said the numbers are shifting. The instant poll, speech watchers really liked President Trump's speech.
Among speech watchers tonight, 64% say his policies will move the U.S. in the right direction. And look at the growth President Trump made over the speech. So pre-speech, it was 54% of speech watchers said his policies will move the U.S. in the right direction. After the speech, that number goes up 10 percentage points. So Donald Trump made some progress with people watching the speech from their pre-speech expectations to what they saw in the speech itself. And that 64% number, that's pretty much in range across all of his State of the Union addresses. In his first term, last year, the joint session, that's about what we've seen, is roughly 2/3 have walked away from his speeches thinking he's going to move it in the right direction.
So 2/3 moving in the right direction. Say 64. I always say their numbers are skewed. They probably cut out 10, 15% out of that. Well, why would you say that? Well, look at CBS's news, their news poll. Poll actually says among speech watchers, 75% approved. Democrats are crushed. American people overwhelmingly approve of President Trump's State of the Union speech. New York Post even put out that headline, Trump wins gold. Oh, Trump wins gold. Speaking of winning gold, did you guys know that the goal scorer, Jack Hughes, went back home and he was on the ice for the New Jersey Devils, and boy, did they love him.
For the United States, its first men's hockey goal. Medal since 1980. Devils fans, let's hear it for number 86, Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes. He scored the Olympic game winner, right, for Team USA. And I'm going to fast forward to what he says in his speech here, okay? Here we go.
I'm so proud and I'm so happy that the men's and women's USA hockey teams brought gold medals back to the United States of America. And you guys are making me emotional, but I'm so proud to represent the New Jersey Devils organization. And I'm so proud to represent the great state of New Jersey. So proud. From the bottom of my heart, all my teammates, USA teammates, we just want to thank you guys for all the love and the support. We feel it. Thank you.
Pretty cool. And I was looking at his face. Do you guys know if his tooth got fixed? Not yet. I had my tooth knocked out when I was a teenager. And man, you get that little feeling, that terrible feeling in your teeth when it's broken. Hopefully he's got it covered up or something to keep that terrible feeling that you have before he gets it fixed. Anyway, do you guys know something really interesting? February 22nd, 1980, Miracle on Ice. Remember that? Okay, so February 22nd, 2026, Jack Hughes, to the day, 46 years later, scores the Olympic game winner for Team USA. Well, check this out. Jack Hughes, there was a guy named Jack Hughes, born in 1957. He was one of the final cuts from the 1980 Olympic team 46 years ago. Did you guys know that? It's in the movie Miracle on Ice. That same Jack Hughes played 46 NHL games. Whoa. He was drafted by the Colorado Rockies, who later became the New Jersey Devils. Current Jack Hughes 2026 hero plays for the New Jersey Devils. If you guys need more on that, just pause this video. Look up there on your screen. I put it there for you to read. Pretty amazing. Also, New Jersey. They booed their governor.
Partner David and Allison Blitzer, and New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill, and First Gentleman Jason Haber.
Boo!
Is here to announce that the New Jersey Devils organization is making an $86,000 donation.
How does that feel to be booed? And there are witnesses from the crowd that said the boos were much louder than what you're hearing from that screen there. It reflects fan frustration with the February 11th executive order number 12, which bars ICE from being used on the most state property for arrests or operations without a judicial warrant. The DOJ sued New Jersey over it February 24th, arguing it blocks federal immigration enforcement. Fans cheered Hughes and USA instead. Way to go, Jersey. You know, I worked in New Jersey for 3 years in the Marine Corps under the recruiting station there in Iselin, New Jersey. We were stationed at Naval Weapons Station Earl, if anybody's out in that area. And we actually really loved New Jersey. And when we got there, it was pretty amazing for us to have our first two sons. When we walked into something called a diner, I'd never been in one before. They welcomed us with open arms. They knew I was in the military and was in the Marine Corps after we shared a few stories, and the entire restaurant pretty much got up and came over to greet us. And after that, it was just one after another. We were exposed to so much in that amazing state with the jug handles and all that other stuff. Pretty cool for those out of Jersey listening in. Thank you. And a couple of things that I might have missed from the State of the Union. Just thought it was good to have some humor here. I completely missed this. Actually, I must have walked out of the room for a moment.
$40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. 40.
I just love his face when he says that. 8 million for transgender mice. And he's like, that's awkward when he puts his eyebrows up. Oh, of course. Another thing that I actually missed, didn't really catch this either. I must have walked out of the room a few times probably to hit the restroom. But this camera actually zoomed in on Tim McBride as President Trump obliterated transgenderism. Talk about timing for the camera person. Great timing.
Daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
Great work, camera person. Transition back. In your face. To all those folks that are mutilating our children. In your face, you demonic fools. These people are stupid, including this one here. And I tell you what, they need help. They're mentally ill, and they need our Savior somehow, some way to change and hopefully realize, you know what? There's one standing right in front of you who was manipulated. And she's going where? Liberty University, a Christian university. That's where I graduated from, bachelor's in religion from that. And that's where my kids did their homeschooling also. So after the State of the Union, there is one thing that both sides of the aisle actually agree on. Listen to this real quick.
Okay, the the economy taking center stage now at last night's State of the Union address. President Trump touting progress on lowering prices, taming inflation, and increasing savings.
In 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
1.17. And then you got Williamsburg, Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, Virginia governor, speaking.
President took office last year. His reckless trade policies have forced American families to pay more than $1,700 each.
17. Isn't that amazing? You know, on Truth Social, if you guys didn't catch this, they posted tonight on Truth Plus, State of the Union, they took the O and made it into a Q. You see that? Do it Q. Posted at 9 p.m. Well, if you go to 9/2100, which is Q2100, it says, do it Q. The world is watching. The world is changing. How many coincidences? Before mathematically impossible. State of the Union. Why did they just put big old S-O-T-U to all look the same? Why did they have to make the O look like a Q? And then posted at 9 p.m. Do it Q. Yeah, it's just, mathematically impossible. Department of War CTO, our enemies are scared. President of the United States, the president of the American warfighter. They posted that. Mr. Poole said they don't want you to see this. They want you to be afraid. They want you to believe the country is collapsing. Here's the truth. They are hiding from you. They are not opinion. These are not opinions. These are facts released on February 24th. Since President Trump took office, murder rate, the lowest level in 125 years. Violent crime, the largest single-year drop in recorded history. Chicago, fewest murders since 1965. Washington, D.C., murders down 66%. Carjackings down 82%. New Orleans, homicide rate at a 50-year low. FBI most wanted, a record number of criminals captured. This is not a coincidence. It's a plan. While Trump is taking out deep state assets like El Mencho abroad, he is restoring law and order at home. He's systematically dismantling the chaos they created. They are losing control of the streets. They are losing control of the narrative. They are losing. We are winning. Our enemies are scared. When that was posted, it was posted at 9:18 p.m. Interesting because it correlates with the Q board. For those watching, this should scare you. It's the power you depend on to survive. Money is worthless without those in power serving you. White House military patriots, are you ready to play? Also, remember President Trump mentioned the sick people. Sick people is actually in the Q board a couple times. Hope you enjoyed the Christmas decor. POTUS will verify directly to provide crumb authority for dissemination. We are crushing these sick people. Department of War CTO also said we will never give up, we will never give in, and we will never, ever surrender. It's got President Trump there looking pretty tough. Defend our people. The Democrat Party, of course, was exposed. There is a pirate, Ilhan Omar, the insider traitor, Nancy Pelosi, the traitor, going to sleep, and the mental patient. Also, our media. Remember, we live in a country where you can win gold for China and end up on the cover of Time magazine, as you can see there, but win gold for U.S. and have your own press turn on you. Remember, they put Eileen Zhu on Time magazine now coming out. And, of course, they go after those that celebrate with President Trump. President Trump responded. He says, when you watch low IQ Ilhan Omar and Rashid Tlaib as they screamed uncontrollably at the very elegant State of the Union, such an important and beautiful event, they had the bulging, bloodshot eyes of crazy people, lunatics, mentally deranged and sick, who frankly look like they should be institutionalized. When people can behave like that, and knowing that they are crooked and corrupt politicians, so bad for our country, we should send them back from where they came as fast as possible. They can only damage the United States of America. They can do nothing to help it. They should actually get on a boat with Trump derangement Robert De Niro, another sick and demented person with, I believe, an extremely low IQ, who has absolutely no idea what he's doing or saying, some of which is seriously criminal. When I watched him break down in tears Much like a child would do, I realized that he may be even sicker than crazy Rosie O'Donnell, who is right now in Ireland, trying to figure out how to come back into our beautiful United States. The only difference between De Niro and Rosie is that she is probably somewhat smarter than him, which isn't saying much. The good news is that America is now bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. It's driving them absolutely crazy. He's pointing out all of the criminals right before us. Also, the U.S. Capitol Police arrested Ilhan Omar's State of the Union guest after she refused to stop standing and blocking others in the gallery during Trump's speech. The same deranged activist arrested in Minneapolis for using her car to block ICE agents' cars on a street. She's messed up in the head. No wonder they always end up violent. This right here was posted by Dan Scavino, B-2 bomber. And it was real quick. Average Joe Patriot, 1776. When a B-2 bomber is no longer stealth, think public statements made last week. What must that signal? Public opinion is important. Interesting, but that's what it directed us to. Also, it had a timestamp of 9:06 p.m. The vid was 5 seconds long, that video. We Have It All showed us this. Ha, 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 next week. And again, ha, 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 ha. We warned you, you are stupid. Can you sleep? We can help. Ho, 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 ho. Also, Connection on the cue board with this is follow the money. It's the key. Cover for possible future indictment to plead what? The truth is mind-blowing and cannot fully be exposed. Have faith. So, of course, Dr. Richard Axel, a Nobel Prize-winning scientist, said he is stepping down as co-director of Columbia University's Zuckerman Mind-Brain Behavior Institute on the heels of his association with notorious sex predator Jeffrey Epstein, drawing public attention. Also, Larry Summers resigns from Harvard amid investigation into Epstein ties. One of Harvard's most powerful figures is out. Former Harvard professor Larry Summers, resigning all faculty appointments amid his Epstein ties. Let the dominoes continue to fall. Folks, we have a great video coming out tomorrow. On Saturday, tariffs and silver. Dr. Kirk Elliott's going to discuss all that. Silver's up more than 30% in February. It's gone up just in February alone to where we are now. And he continues to remind us of that day after day. And I can't wait to show this video to you. It's going to be phenomenal. You can go to andweknow.com/gold to get ahead of this now, folks, as it continues to climb. And that's for sure. Now, a couple other things I want you to notice. There's a guy named Robert Edwards. He was the Squatty Potty creator who was on Shark Tank. Got a screenshot of him right there. He was arrested in Utah for child porn. Edwards is partnered to a man and is a co-parent to 4 children. During his appearance on Shark Tank, Barbara Corcoran, remember, she's one of those on the Shark Tank, said there was something about Edwards that felt off to her. Authorities say Edwards purchased a trove of CSAM between 2021 and 2025. An undercover FBI agent joined a group chat where horrifying material was being distributed. Edwards was allegedly one of the participants. In November, law enforcement executed a search warrant, confiscated his phone, multiple videos and images of terrible things. Of course, he pleaded not guilty. Now, back to the State of the Union before we close out. Listen to Representative Robin Kelly compared the recognitions on the State of the Union to an award show. Remember, they were giving out several awards, and I'm going to show you some of those.
I was there, and it was as horrific as I thought it would be.
Did you leave early?
Absolutely.
It was like an award show. You get a medal. You get a medal. You get a medal.
That's literally, Mo just said, you get a car, you get a car. Y'all are on the same page.
Laughing at people that received Congressional Medal of Honors, more, so that they can have their freedom. and they're laughing. Tells you what they think about our military. Who else was confronted on this? Oh, Debbie Wasserman, embarrassed on live TV for calling an award show Trump's State of the Union.
Heckling the president, and now you handing out the congressional or awarding the Congressional Medal of Honor to undoubtedly a heroic helicopter pilot and then a fighter pilot, an award show. I'm wondering if the president could have said anything that you'd be okay with.
There are numerous times that I stood up during his speech, and I stood up for each of the individuals whose valor was worthy of the praise that he meted out. But I can tell you, I brought a guest tonight from my district. I brought a guest tonight because I brought a guest tonight from my district.
I brought a guest. I don't want to talk about why I called it an award show. I'm trying to make up for something I messed up. Now, I don't know about you guys. Do you see anything wrong with her face? Did something happen? Are they wearing a mask? Something going on here? I don't know. It's just me speculating. Something that came up, of course, several awards were given out. A Coast Guard swimmer rescued 165 people during catastrophic flooding in Texas. Even Democrats stopped their protests and stood up. This was Scott's first ever rescue mission. He lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Extraordinary heroism. The Legion of Merit was given to him. We had some others. He awarded 2 National Guardsmen shot by a terrorist in D.C. with Purple Hearts. And one that was very, very telling. There were several that received awards. I'm only covering a few, so I'm not going to cover them all. But this one right here was very powerful. And then we'll come to a close today.
We have a surprise by Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Now, I don't you guys notice or not, and I'm trying to get that in the screen, but he's holding on to, I noticed this, like a walker here to help him stand up. And I was reading some accounts and listening to some others on this. There it is right there, closer view. He got shot in the legs several times during that mission to get Maduro around. He's actually in charge of that entire event, pretty much on the flying side, from what we heard. And he's the first CWO5, Chief Warrant Officer 5, to receive such an honor. And he looks like Superman himself. The guy is just amazing. And we're super proud for what he's done. And what he's done is really saved a nation. And it's going to have ripple effects for years and years to come. Thank you, Lord, for keeping him alive and for his valor under fire, getting shot in the leg, all kinds of things. And being able to pull this off, and that's why he got the Medal of Honor. So, wanted to also show you the 10-year-old. Remember, this is all about the children. 10-year-old student who got a chance to spend time there at State of the Union with First Lady.
Well, it was just really amazing to be able to attend and advocate for education with AI for all Americans.
Okay, Everest, what did you talk about with the First Lady?
So we basically talked about, it was a pretty brief meeting, but we talked about how AI should be used to enhance your creativity and not diminish it.
Wow. What was your favorite moment of the night? What was the coolest person you met, your favorite moment?
Probably getting to shake hands with Melania and get the photos. That was really amazing and such a great honor.
Yeah. Amazing. She was doing just great work. And to be able to sit there on national TV and talk like this was even better than the Democrats. She did a phenomenal job. We're going to close today with common sense IQ test. I haven't read one of these in a while. Pertaining to the State of the Union. The State of the Union, state of affairs, state of emergency, who really cares? But more than we do, worn on our sleeves, we are the ones who rightfully grieves. For all those lost in convoluted phrase, by faith and might, we give God the praise as daylight rises across our land, witnessing greatness, ovations stand. Where others are able to see the divided line in our country, with those who try and seek to destroy, hecklers are useless, a purposeful decoy. As their intentions are visibly seen right out front on each digital screen, they tell a story of wickedness felt while Americans fasten on truth's belt. To stand up strong against adversity, our sweet land of liberty. For every voice and hero of life, sacrifice was given to overcome strife. We must each voice a trumpeted sound. The saints will march with boots on the ground, never backing down for spacious skies, blinders removed from wool-covered eyes. A leader's speech which demands repair. Retribution is calling. We're erasing despair and giving a dream back as intended. A heavy hand needed while souls are mended with restorative grace and actions to erase the destructive force sent to deface our nation's future. Seismically spread. We're the news now. Their rules we've shed. And taking our stance, the red line drawn, games and pieces no longer their pawn. A state of emergency. A state of affairs. It is our great nation, the State of Union declares.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you once again, just in awe of all that you have done through so many, through our great nation and through this entire earth. We thank you most of all for those standing in the gap, those sacrificing their very lives for our country, answering the call, the military members, those that have served before and serving now. We thank you. We bring before you also those that are suffering and hurting day after day, wondering when all this evil will be removed, when the time of stealing from us will finally go away, and when our income will be restored for the work that we've done, no longer slaves in this nation. And many others across this earth that are crying out for the same thing. We know you hear their voices, you hear the cries, especially of those children who have been taken. We continue to lift up Tom Holman and what he's doing to rescue these children and find them. We also lift up all of those like President Trump and his family, standing in the gap. Please protect them from the enemy. We also need your guidance and direction in the way we speak to others and how we handle our own lives and our own affairs in all the wake-up that's coming. In the midst of this storm, we need you. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior, we pray. Amen and amen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support, your prayers, and so much more. I sent your prayers more than ever. We have an amazing family here at And We Know. We sincerely appreciate you. For now, this is LT Semper Fi with And We Know, signing out.
Superintendent Alberto Carvalho.
We're announcing today that we have decided to temporarily halt certain amounts of Medicaid funding that are going to the state of Minnesota.
Sources tell CNN the administration is considering requiring financial institutions to collect and verify their customers' citizenship status.
Wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow. Come now, and let us reason together, saith the Lord.